Hi, I'm Sean O'Shea, welcoming you to this Kawai GX Black Series video tour. In the next several minutes, we're going to take an in-depth look inside a GX Black Series grand piano to show you not only how these pianos are made, but also why they will maintain consistent touch and tone over time better than any other pianos. There's a lot to show you, so let's get started. The starting point for any piano is the keys. Many years ago, the white keys on pianos were made of ivory. Ivory had a delicate texture and the ability to absorb moisture, which reduced slipping caused by perspiration. But ivory also had many drawbacks. It yellowed, cracked, and warped. And of course, its use was detrimental to wildlife. Consequently, ivory has not been used for piano keys for decades. But nearly 20 years ago, Kawai set out to create a key surface material that would possess all the benefits of natural ivory without the drawbacks. And in 1995, Neotex was born. Like ivory, Neotex is finely textured and absorbs moisture to prevent slipping. But unlike ivory, it doesn't crack, warp, or yellow. Plus, it's used for both the white and black keys for consistency of feel and texture. You'll find Neotex on all the GX Black series and other select Kawai grand and upright pianos. It's a rare and valuable feature found on very few other pianos. The keys on the GX Black series are longer to provide a more even response from the front to the back of the key surface. That means there's less variation in touch weight from here to here. The extended key length also makes playing easier, especially when playing at the front of the keys. In addition, the key sticks are designed slightly taller, making them more rigid and therefore able to deliver greater power. As you can see, there's quite a bit of science in the GX series keys, and you'll feel the difference when you start to play them. This is the soft fall fallboard that protects the keys on all GX Black series grand pianos. The dual damping mechanism creates an extremely slow fallboard closing motion to protect fingers and the piano's finish from harm. Once the fallboard is removed, you'll see this part of the piano. It's called the stretcher bar, the long wooden beam that connects both sides of the rim. Notice the extraordinary thickness of the stretcher bar on the GX Black series. We designed it this way for two reasons. First, to provide exceptional strength at the core of the piano, and second, to provide enough thickness for the stretcher bar to literally overlap the pin block below it that holds the tuning pins. The pin block, in turn, is fitted tightly to the iron plate. We call this stretcher overlap integrated design. It combines all these strength components into a unified structure that forms a solid foundation for stable tuning and more powerful tone. This is a cheek block screw. It's one of two such screws that holds this part, the cheek block, firmly in place on both ends to secure the piano action. Now, you might think that a screw like this is not that critical, but to Kawai, it's just as important as every other part of the piano. We designed the most sturdy cheek block screw in the piano industry because we believe that excellence is in the details, even the smallest ones. And if Kawai has invested this much in a simple screw, think how much we've put into the rest of the piano. After cheek blocks are removed, you'll notice this part called the key slip. The key slip is this long piece of wood that protects the front faces of the keys. Anyone who works with wood will tell you that a wooden part this long and this thin will certainly warp over time. And a warped key slip can cause the piano keys to stick. Well, that's why Kawai reinforces our key slips with the heaviest steel liner in the piano industry. The liner is shaped like an angle iron to keep the key slip straight and strong, and the piano keys moving freely at all times. When looking for a piano, always take a moment to examine the key slip and feel the weight of the steel liner that keeps it from warping. Not every piano maker cares this much about quality. Now it's time to reveal the primary secret behind the superb touch and tone of a GX BLAK Series grand piano. The exclusive Kawai Millennium 3 action with ABS carbon. This design represents the third generation of the piano action. Here's how it came to be what it is today. The first generation was the conventional all-wooden action, which Kawai used effectively until the 1970s. Even back then, piano makers knew that wood action parts had some inherent problems, namely their tendency to shrink and swell with changes in climate. This instability badly affected the precision and accuracy of the action, which caused the piano's touch and tone to suffer. But by the 1970s, new types of materials were gaining momentum, particularly composite materials known for their superior strength and stability. Kawai's interest in composite materials led to the second generation of the piano action, which we called the Kawai Ultra Responsive Action. It featured humidity-resistant ABS styrene and other composites that made this advanced action far more stable and consistent than its all-wood predecessor. Kawai continued to refine and improve this design until 2005, when we proudly introduced the third generation of the piano action, the Millennium 3 action with ABS carbon. It's stronger and faster than any of our previous actions. Plus, it provides greater power and better control than ever before. This is the action found in every GX BLAK Series grand piano. There are two main requirements that must be met for any piano action to achieve its full potential. First, the action rail, which is the foundation for the hammers, must remain straight and strong. If it bends or becomes weak, the action will perform poorly. Second, the hammers must hit the strings with absolute precision every time, and continue to do that over the course of time. The slightest change in hammer alignment, even 1 millimeter in any direction, will negatively affect both touch and tone. The following points explain how Kawai goes above and beyond in both of these areas. Because the action rail is so long and subjected to such tremendous stress, a minimum of 5 action brackets is necessary to maintain the stability and strength of the rail. You can see how the 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, are distributed to support the rail. Our largest GX BLAK Series grands, the GX6 and GX7, have 6 action brackets for additional strength. While it's true that most pianos have at least 5 action brackets, some do not. So be sure to look under the hood and do some counting before you decide on a piano. When examining the action brackets, take a moment to feel the surface of the brackets. A smooth texture will assure you that the brackets are die-cast. Kawai's die-cast action brackets are made with a custom mold that allows them to be virtually identical in size and shape from one part to another. You'll never see variations in height and shape that could alter the position of the rail. Sandcast brackets, however, identified by a rough surface texture, can be less precise than the die-cast brackets found in all Kawai grand pianos. Having precise bracket dimensions helps to ensure that the rail remains straight and securely attached at all times, and ultimately leads to better piano tone. Kawai is so confident in the precision of our action brackets that we permanently lock two different rails in place. The action rail that supports the hammers is locked to the brackets here, while the whippen rail that supports the whippen assembly is locked to the brackets with this notch here. Having both rails locked in place ensures that the exacting specifications that lead to a precise hammer strike will be maintained over time. When either rail is allowed to be moved or adjusted, those precise specifications can be compromised, but not on a Kawai grand piano. As you evaluate various instruments, look closely to be certain both of these rails are permanently locked in place. The tone and touch of your piano may depend on it. From the side of the action rail, you can see the flat top surface with two perpendicular beams extending downward to form the shape of an F. Material science has shown that adding a perpendicular beam to any flat plane of material will greatly increase its strength. Most piano action rails have one perpendicular beam to form an L shape. Kawai went the extra mile by adding a second perpendicular beam that extends across the entire length of the rail. This second beam not only helps to keep the action rail straight, but also ensures the greatest possible strength to support the hammers. Look for the dual beam F shape whenever you see a piano action. It's the symbol of a firm foundation.